That red dot is on. We're looking good. We're looking good. All right, T-Back,
You might.
I plugged the dongy in just in case you want to use it.
I want you to look at the camera and approve it. I don't want us to go off my word.
Hey, as long as we're all in it, that's all that matters.
Are our heads cut off? Are we good? You guys don't need to apologize for the length of setup because I get it.
Yeah, it's a mess sometimes.
Oh, it's a project.
All right, all lights are on, right?
People
Let's just
only
keep an eye on those red lights. Just make sure we're recording.
Wait,
All right.
what do you want me to do?
Can we play some music for our guest, please?
Keep an eye on the red light.
Yeah, just keep an eye on the red lights.
All right.
Is
just
everything
making sure.
recording?
Wait, how do we sound? Do we sound good?
Sound great.
I can hear you guys perfectly. Hey,
Thank you to our live band.
and we're back. We're back with the Bice in the back.
Yes.
And today we're here with business mogul, entrepreneur, CEO, former model, by the way, former dancer.
People forget.
Probably still currently, honestly. Shannon Fairweather.
Come on, give it up.
Give it up. Thank you for the audience.
Our live studio audience, thank you guys.
Shannon, how are you feeling tonight?
I feel fantastic. I have to say, this is a beautiful setup here. You guys are crushing it. We got the live band. We got the live audience. I'm a little nervous. I've never done a podcast in front of this many people before.
Yeah, don't be nervous.
Don't be nervous. Everyone's friends here, We're here for a good time. Family.
I'm happy to be here. It literally took me less than a minute to drive over
That's
here.
facts.
And I've known where Tyvek lives
Come on.
my
She's never
entire
been
life. And
G-Wood.
he's never invited me over, but I know where he lives.
Shout out G-Wood.
Well,
Yeah.
we're going to keep this
I've been
streamlined.
to your house, but I never invited
plenty
you.
of
I know.
times. Plenty of times.
It's fine. I'm over it.
Good, what's it called?
That.
Yeah. 4th grade, end of the year party, slip and slide.
Oh my gosh, so many memories.
Unbelievable.
We got the letter
too
people. We got
The letter people.
We
Shout
got-
out Greenwood School. Shout out Matt Honig.
I was literally having a
Shout out the homies.
conversation the other day about how Greenwood kids are different.
Built different.
Definitely built different. That's a
And
fact.
Greenwood and Randy.
I'm not
for
Greenwood,
sure.
but
You-
I appreciate.
You've been incredibly cultured by
I've
the
been
Greenwood
knighted. I've been
kids.
knighted by the Greenwood Knights.
Well, I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of Greenwood was actually once like an Indian burial ground.
Is that facts?
So I think we're actually all just possessed.
Is this true or is this?
Yeah.
Do you
is
know
this
of this?
false?
The Greenwood School is actually built on
It's
top
built
of
on
it.
an
Yeah.
ancient
So is
Indian
my
burial
neighborhood.
ground.
So is probably your neighborhood. I know people that have had their houses.
I do remember you tweeting that your
Cleansed.
house was haunted.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Did you guys get into Twitter? I remember I was watching the episode
I
with
was
Andrew.
just doing some research. If you're a fan of the show, we
am.
do a segment called Twitter Translation, which we will get to. But
If you're a fan of the
we got
show,
a
you're
couple ones. I found some funny ones. I need a little more context from
Okay.
you.
I'm
But,
terrified.
but here, so yeah,
Yeah.
so before we get into the questions, we always want to give our guest a chance to talk. Every superhero has their origin.
Mhm.
So let's hear yours. What's your origin? Tell us everything. We want to hear.
All
Yeah,
right,
where you at?
Where you
So you guys met me in high school, obviously. So I
Mhm.
usually only touch base like 4 or 5 years back, but I'll start from around high school-ish. So from how you guys knew me, class president, dance team captain, really type
Shout
A,
Class Prez.
Shout out.
really type A, type B.
El Capitan.
I was definitely a people pleaser. I had a lot of people at my house all the time. I was
Facts.
really just trying to be super likable.
You're a social butterfly.
Yeah, and
You
really were.
had since you were president, you had to be like that.
I literally had to get people to like me in order to get my end goal, and I wanted people to like me. I was someone who was very
Who doesn't?
extroverted.
Who doesn't?
I think we all do. I think it's naturally within all of us to want
Yeah.
to feel like we belong.
Definitely.
But I think I relied on that a little bit too much. Just because I realized later in life that my own individual self-worth was based a lot off of making other people happy and liking me. So that me in high school was type A, class president, dance team captain. That was really me. And then I went to college. Yeah, class pres. I held it
Yep.
down. I think I was a great class president.
No, I would
Holding it
concur.
down.
I
We
would
were
concur.
actually
Facts.
one of the wealthiest graduating classes like ever. We raised so much money.
Shout
Yeah,
out
no, we
Treasurer
didn't.
Maddie Fleming.
Yeah,
Love
shout
Maddie
out. Give
Fleming.
it up.
It was awesome. So that was me in high school, doing my thing, loved Wakefield High, and then went to college and suffered from a lot of anxiety, actually.
Where'd you go again?
Bentley.
Oh, yes.
Be
Yeah.
you.
Hey,
Bentley.
shout
you.
out the Falcons. They were Assumption's rival, but Thank you.
Yes, Bentley was good. I'm by no means like a Bentley diehard, so you can chirp him if you want. So I show up
Love
at
that.
Bentley. It was good. I struggled a lot my first year there. I started suffering from. Hi,
Oh, Queen.
sis. How are you?
How are you?
I love your
Queenie.
hair.
Oh, thank you.
Queenie, get in
Queenie,
here real quick.
happy belated Queenie.
Oh, thank you.
Here,
Happy
can
belated
you
to you.
rock the merch real quick for the camera?
Flex it.
Did she do an episode?
Fumble.
I had two.
They have
She's
their
been on a
own
few.
podcast.
They've had their own podcast. Yeah.
I love
We're gonna
that.
get back on my one friend that does it with me. Do you know Allie Carr?
Shout out Ali
Yeah.
Carr.
She's at school right now, so we'll coordinate something.
That's awesome.
Wait, yeah, show the hat. Bice in the back merch. Dogbot hats. Check them out. Instagram.
What's her pod
Dogbot
called?
hats.
What's that?
What's her pod called?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, true.
I love that.
So yeah,
You
check
guys
it
are
out.
twins. You guys always have been twins.
Well, she
You just have the
tries
same
to get
voice.
like me, you know.
Well, she's just prettier.
That's true.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I can't argue with that. Can't argue with that.
Siblings are wild.
You're absolutely right, Shannon. You're absolutely right.
It's so
I saw
good
your
to
brother
see.
the other day too. Speaking of twins, y'all are twins.
Which
too.
one?
Billy.
Oh yeah, we're
Yeah.
like 11 months apart. We're like kind of actually real twins. Where'd you see him?
That's
Jim.
a lie.
Why?
So I work at the Melrose YMCA. He just came
Okay.
to work out. Sorry to derail the podcast.
No,
No,
it's
you
good
good,
to
you
see
good.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have yield?
I do. It's in my car though.
Okay, well I don't want to go through your stuff, but
She
you
want
open
to
up my
smoke?
car and you go
Yep.
in the
I
back.
love that for you.
You go in the back of my car.
No,
There's a
because you know
backpack.
what, who taught him everything he knows.
I believe it. I
Yep.
have some
Yeah.
fire
It's a North Face backpack. Great. In my back
Pre-rolls.
I
seat.
know what it looks like.
in
Yeah,
the
you know,
back
you
of my
know.
car too.
Girl, I'll be here all night.
We'll be here all night.
Yeah.
I mean,
If
Don't let him tell you otherwise. I am the Don.
we could use a blizzy.
Queen E.
We could use a blizzy. That's for
she's,
sure.
she's the queen for a reason.
I
She's a queen
believe
for a
it.
On my
reason.
birthday.
Hey.
She used to be a little shy when
if
she
if
was
it
young.
if it's in the car,
Yeah,
it's
now-
in the car.
She's
No.
grown up.
Facts.
She's the
Yeah, now
youngest, right? The youngest
she's the
are something
youngest.
else. Daniel is something else too.
Different breed.
Yeah, the youngest of any family. I mean, Randy can attest. He's the youngest.
I am.
Oh my
I am the
God, they
youngest.
are
Extroverted. Just won't stop
headstrong.
talking. Headstrong.
I gotta fend for myself. It's cold out here for me.
Yeah,
Head-
you're telling me I
yeah.
got a blanket.
People gotta
Especially
eat,
him
people
as
gotta
a
eat.
brother, Nobody gives
He must be a
fuck.
great brother though.
Facts.
Mhm.
She questioned that
Mhm.
immediately.
Hey, it wasn't a thumbs down, so you know, I'll take it.
We're like opposite. You have two sisters. I have two brothers.
That's true. I
But
never
we-
thought of that.
Both run the house. Nah, just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just trying
He
to.
thinks he does.
Honestly, Deirdre runs it. Neither of us do.
No, that is a fact.
That's who runs this house. It's me.
Nah, it's true.
I think
I
it's you.
disagree, but
Deirdre's the goat.
Yeah.
she's goated. She's goated.
She's
goated.
goated.
She's goated.
Deirdre-
Don't touch it.
God,
That
Greenwood
good
spirit
spirit
down in my
down
toes.
in
I don't even know.
I forgot about
Deep
that,
in
but
my That's funny you say that because
Miss
the other
Barry.
day I was like, I want some Greenwood Elementary School merch, low key.
Yo, I would rep
yes.
Greenwood.
Freaking
before any
dog
other
water
school.
merch should make it.
18 Beck, Greenwood Elementary.
Well,
Dog
what,
bought
like
Dog
merch.
water. That
2000.
disrespectful.
6 maybe. What were we?
I know, I forgot what it was.
We were
2000.
Yeah, if we
I
had
remember 2004. We were
graduating
in
class.
first grade.
really 6
Nah,
Class of whatever.
12 8. We graduated 8. That's a sick year.
Yes. No.
That's a
That's a
good year.
go. 2008 goaded.
That's a goat year.
Great year. Hey,
We're the
give
main
it up.
characters.
give it up for
Huge
2008.
shout out to the
I was
Greenwood
2012.
Elementary
Graduating
Uh,
class of 2012.
Weird year.
of elementary.
Wait,
school?
what year?
Because I'm 4 behind you
What year
guys.
did you graduate?
High school?
Elementary.
2012. I think.
Weird year. Weird year.
2012, the world was supposed to end and it didn't. So
I feel like one should be in high school by 2012.
Yeah. If you're not, at least.
you
in
guys
high
were
school.
barely in high school in 2012.
But
No,
we were there.
We weren't. Were we?
If
Yeah,
I
we
was in
were.
4th grade, no.
Really?
All right,
Yeah, we were.
actually, I don't know what year I graduated. I don't know.
Who knows? It's all a
I
blur.
really only came here for one thing, but I
To say hi
felt
to me?
I felt slighted by that, Ty, and you need to know that,
No, you've
it
already
recently?
made that known.
and it hurt my feelings.
It's good to share your
Hey,
feelings.
Queenie, thank you for showing up. Appreciate you.
for having me. Thank
Yeah, you want to join? We have a seat.
We do
and we
have
have another mic.
another mic, but
Yeah, okay.
Hop on in.
I have.
Be a little.
Did you address
bonus
the
Jonas.
studio situation?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it's studio.
We're
beef.
live from
It's
Tony
awesome.
Stark's cave.
We're glamping. We're basically
is what it
glamping.
is.
Yeah. What's glamping?
It's like glamorous camping.
Glam
Oh,
camping.
Love
Glamping.
that.
Like millennials glam.
Yeah, can you get with it, Ty? Jesus Christ.
Get with the
I have to get with
trends.
it. That's for me.
All right. So, Shannon, you want to just get in the questions, or what do you think?
Well, no, let me introduce myself.
Let-
I'll finish
let
it
her-
up.
yeah,
I'll
let her
finish
finish
it
that
up.
You guys
up.
just start?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
just
so I
started,
fully
baby.
derailed the pod.
No, it's chill.
You're
We're
good.
chilling.
guys.
Fully.
We
We're
were
chilling,
maybe
we're
like
chilling,
30
we're chilling.
seconds in. I was just talking about my anxiety.
Girl.
Who cares?
Freshman year college. Where were we?
Okay, so freshman year of college, bad place. Not eating, super anxious, really terrible habits, coming home from school all the time, having my mom pick me up from Bentley, having all my friends at school think I'm a loser because I'm leaving all the time. Mental case, bad. Drinking way too much, starving myself, waking up, having no idea what happened the night before. Miserable, absolutely miserable. Considering dropping out of Bentley, really unhappy, acting like I'm happy on social media, but truly miserable. And then somehow I decided to study abroad. And my dad didn't think I was going to get on the plane, but I did. And I went over there and I really pushed myself for the first time and really forced myself to do something just challenging and different and outside of my comfort zone, because my whole life was a comfort zone. Wakefield, Massachusetts was a comfort zone. I had my little parties, my little friends. I had my friend groups. It was easy. And then I went to college and I was challenged and I was uncomfortable. And my body literally went crazy and was like, "You're unsafe. What's going on here?" And it was just because I'd never challenged myself. My mom, who's a phenomenal mom, babied me in a lot of sense. Helped.
Sorry,
Yeah,
give it
you're
up for
good.
Julie.
Shout
Give it
out-
up for Julie.
Julie's a super mom.
Shout out to Fairweathers.
Super mom.
Julie's a super mom, and she was a super mom to the point where I kind of didn't know how to deal with some of my own problems or emotions. So then I go abroad. I was on antidepressants at the time. Shout out Prozac. And
Shout out.
I got myself off of the antidepressants while abroad. And while I was there, I realized the power of traveling. I realized the power of doing new things and challenging myself. And I came back and I was like, I need to keep doing this. I need to get out of Bentley. Graduated from Bentley early. Immediately went to Australia and New Zealand.
Wow.
While I was in
Snaps.
Australia and New Zealand, I started my own marketing company because I was like, I need to make money. That isn't a 9-to-5, because I knew I didn't want to go into the system. I knew I
Should
didn't.
hire Ty.
Shouts.
I'd love
Facts.
to. I'd love
He
to.
does have a master's, so
He's a
That
smarty
I
He
do.
is
pants.
an MBA.
Anyone can
Is an
like
MBA.
anyone can start doing what I did. It's not special freelancing, and I'd love to talk about this more because it changed my entire life. It allowed me to be so much more free, but recognized how powerful traveling was and what it did for my mind and for my growth. Recognized I wanted to keep doing that. Realized I had to make money to do that, so I really wanted to learn how to make money from my computer. My boyfriend was already making money from his computer. I was like, teach me. He taught me while we were in Australia and New Zealand. Started my own marketing company. Then COVID hit. Then I moved to the city. Moving to the city was huge for me. And then I just
Awesome.
kept traveling and making money and meeting new people and loving my life and
Hell
pushing
yeah.
myself and doing new things. And I was like, I want to create a podcast talking about the things that we don't learn about in school, talking about the things that need more awareness.
Just your experience.
Yeah. Entrepreneurship, spirituality, mindset, mental health, physical health,
The deep things.
the deep
Hell yeah.
things.
The
I like
things
bringing
that
on
matter.
I like bringing on really successful people who have been through things and having them share their stories to inspire others. And now we have Doing the Most University, which is more specified courses in those
Yes,
things.
sir.
But
Shout out Doing the Most University. Shout out the pod.
Shout out doing the
Check
most.
it out.
Shout out
We're gonna leave-
77 Key.
We're gonna leave
Do
the
the most.
link
So
in
that's
the
me.
description.
I was a miserable person for
Shout out Delaire.
for a while. I was struggling for a while, and I found some things that really helped me, and I'm just trying to bring more awareness to the things that have made my life so much better. Just so much better. I'm really
if I can
happy.
jump in before any of you, because I know you have stuff prepared, but
Yeah.
it's interesting that you say
Yeah.
that because I go to Salem State,
Shout out.
Shout out
social work.
Shouts.
And I had a terrible time freshman year too. It was absolutely
hard.
awful. It was miserable. I think back on it now and I'm like, I think in high school I exhibited mental health struggles. I just didn't like put a name to it.
Mhm.
And then in college it was the same thing. I wasn't eating. I wasn't really like a big drinker ever, but like smoking a lot of weed.
Mhm.
Not eating, not sleeping enough or sleeping too much.
Mhm.
I was just having a hard time putting myself out there, like, because Wakefield is a bubble. Any town you grow up in, is a bubble. You had the same friends. Ty has a lot of the same friends he's had his entire life, and that's a great
Shouts.
thing. But then once you're outside of that, it's like, what the F do I do? And I didn't like study abroad or anything, but I was a few years behind you guys. So COVID hit while I was like in the beginning of school, my freshman year. And that made me like sit back and be like, okay, what do I really want out of life? Like, where do I want to go from here?
Fantastic question to ask yourself.
Exactly. And I'm like, I don't need to have the answer right now, but I need to at least like change the direction I'm going, because I'm not going to make it at the rate that I'm at right now. I'm not going to make it. I did the reverse freshman 15, like lost 15 pounds.
Oh, I lost 30. Yeah, it was tough.
I gained 30.
Muscle.
All fat.
Muscle. All muscle.
Yeah, so what happens when we leave high school, but really this can happen for people in high school, is we're not taught the power of our environment. We're not taught the power of our words.
Right.
We're not taught the power of the content we're consuming, the food
Also,
that we're
it's like
eating.
meeting new people. It's like you forget how to make friends. You forget how to put yourself out there because you haven't had to do it in so long. It's harder when you're older.
Yeah, we're really living in a system that isn't serving the majority of people, and that's why there's a mental health crisis. And that's why there's people with drinking problems, eating problems, drug problems. We're not taught how to deal with our emotions. We're not taught how to process things. We're not taught how to reprogram ourselves for success. And you kind of have to do it yourself.
And I think one thing, especially with the college thing, that people don't think about is that you have a lot more options than you think. I think we can all relate to like being in Wakefield, them thinking that like, you're going to go to a 4-year college and we love all of our Ivy League students and we're going to push them and we're so proud of all your accomplishments, get involved as possible, blah, 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 live at school, get all these experiences. That is not for everyone. I'm so glad I decided to commute after COVID. That works for me. I can work. I like to be able to work and like just have that outside of school. It's about like finding what works for you. But I think a lot of kids feel like, well, I've been told to do this and I need to do this. And that's just not true.
I strongly agree with you in so many ways. Like I said, the system's really not serving people, and I'm a strong matrix type of person. Like I believe that there's a lot of matrices in place, and I think that a lot of people profit off of us working through the system of schooling, internship, college into a 9-to-5, because we stay within a system that's very confined and keeps us constantly in a rat race,
hamster wheel,
constantly just scratching at the surface of success, constantly needing more money.
Also, what does success really mean to you as an individual?
It's so many different things.
It's different for
It's
everyone.
not
Different
just
for
like
everybody.
And I think our generation is kind of like, well, I want to just ball out. I just want to ball. I just want money so that I can do things. But it's like, okay, how are you going to get your money? How does it make you feel the way that you get money? I'm going to school for social work. I'm not going to be a big baller brand when I get out of school, but it's something that I'm passionate about and I'm really excited about. And I could never say that before. So it's like, I'm not going to like fall into the, I just need to make money thing, because like, that's not, you don't know if that's going to make you happy. So it's also like our culture, social media, like you said, like is kind of something that plays into that as well. But we could go on and on about the social media aspect. But
social media is also a dangerous place.
It's like just people let outside influences impact their decisions too much.
And you need to become aware of who you're really looking up to and who you really want to be like and who you're really taking information from.
Right.
Because we learn our whole life of what success looks like and what it should be. And in high school, that's going to college. But I think going to college is definitely not the right choice for a lot of people. And I think one of the best things we could do as a society is, one, just reconstruct the entire schooling system, but two, a gap year in between high school and college for people to really think about what they want to do, because we're not really taught how to go after the things that we actually want to go after. We're not taught how to goal set. We're not taught how to think big or get inspired or try new things. We're taught to follow a certain system. And when people start to feel like they don't fit in that system and they start to question things, that's when, one, the system really doesn't serve them, but two, we lead to a lot of unhappy people just unsure what to do. And then what happens? They end up relying more on the systems, the government, and it's a scary place, but it's important to recognize that at any point we can take our own freedom, we can take our financial ability into our own hands. The world that we're living in right now, the opportunity that is there through the internet, it's like nothing there's ever been before. You can start a 7-figure business with a laptop from your house, all off YouTube. You absolutely can. You just need the focus to do so, which a lot of people struggle with as well, with television and social media and everything. That's a whole lot of nonsense, reality TV, and people don't have the ability to focus on one thing and actually succeed in it because there's so many distractions. And then in addition to that, there's so much doubt, so much self-doubt, so much insecurity. Oh, I can't do that. Why would I be able to do that? Why am I special? Because you're a human. You're a human having an experience, and you can literally do anything you want.
Yeah.
You just have to believe that you can.
Life, it's what you make it.
It is.
Literally. You can do whatever you want.
You just have to believe it. It's
Yeah,
so
you have
corny,
to
but
believe.
it's true. It's really true. Mindset is everything. And I've done a lot of mental reprogramming over the past couple of years.
Absolutely.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
speaking of, accomplishments and doing things on your own. So we'll get into the questions.
We're off to a hot start. This is great.
Yeah,
This is
we're
good.
diving right in.
I'm for
So
it.
here's what we want to ask you. So obviously we know you've started your own brands, things like Doing the Most and Dirty Water Media. So can you walk us through what it's like to build and extend your own personal brand, and what is the importance of these brands mean to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So my parents started Dirty Water Media, and that's where I really got started in media in general. So they started that a while ago, at least 15 years ago, and I've been an on-air reporter since I was 13. I was backstage at the Jingle Ball interviewing the Jonas Brothers and Flo Rida and all
That's
these
awesome.
We've seen
little
that. We've
That's
seen it.
awesome.
since I was really young. And so I've always had a passion for being in front of the camera in some way, shape, or form. And I've always loved being involved in it. And when I went to college, I really wanted to go to school for communications and be an on-air reporter. I wanted to be the next Maria Menounos. But the
Okay.
more I got
Awesome.
involved with those kind of things and recognized the path I was going on, I really don't give a shit about celebrities or entertainment or topics of that sense. I find it
Yep.
interesting every now and then. I have celebrities that I like. I have, artists that I love, but talking about, who they're dating and what they're wearing is definitely not where I saw my future going anymore.
Yeah.
So Dirty Water Media
Respect.
became just something more that I did out of love. I love being on the camera. I think it's great to get on camera speaking skills. So it's something I love to challenge myself to do. And then when it came to Doing the Most, like I said, I really went from someone that was really sad, really anxious, really struggling, someone who was living heavily in a world dependent on how many likes I was getting on Instagram and if people liked me and what my friend group was like and if I had a boyfriend and everything outside of myself. And I really started to find a lot of resources in life, from travel to self-help books to meditation to certain exercises and new groups of people, and
Just getting yourself right.
I just started expanding my mind and got really obsessed with bettering myself, and I realized my life was getting a lot better. I was traveling the world. I had been to Australia, New Zealand, Aruba, Costa Rica, all over the States, all over Europe.
That's awesome.
And I realized how much better at my life I'd gotten. I'd found love. I was living in my dream apartment. I was making money, and I was like, I was miserable like 2-3 years ago. Like, what really happened here? What really changed? And that's when I realized with Daniel, my boyfriend, who's incredibly smart and is a genius.
Shout out Daniel.
Shout out
He's
Daniel.
awesome.
Thank you.
He's a really special person. And we just realized that we have been so blessed to get our minds expanded to what we have learned and the resources that we had and things we had done. And we want to share that information with more people. So it started out with the Doing the Most brand, which was kind of just a literal brand. Like, I was selling merchandise and doing Instagram posts and just trying to get the brand across of Doing the Most means whatever you want it to mean to you. You can do the most. You can live the life you want to have. You can make the money, chase the dreams, travel. You can do these things.
I like that.
And
Just
then,
give your all.
and
Yeah.
then it turned into the podcast, which morphed into, again, just me sharing my own experiences, me being very vulnerable and real about everything I've been through, me and Daniel talking a lot about our relationship. We talk about, the power of communication within a relationship. And, we sleep intentionally in different rooms some nights. So we talk about that and like experiences we have and fights we have and how we move past those things and working with a significant other. And I talk about, healing certain things with my family and or my brothers or my friends. And I talk about going for certain things in my career. And I talk about the failures I've had. I just had to pay a fuck ton in taxes that I wasn't ready to pay, and it was way more than I expected, and that was really overwhelming. So just the reality of growing up, but also I like bringing on people who inspire, and I really like exposing people to better content, because I think there's way too much drama out there. I think there's way too much negativity out there. I think there's way too much hate out there, and I've been on the receiving end of that. And I've also been in a place where I was watching a lot of that content, and I realized, the impact it had on my mind and my brain. And so when it comes to the podcast, I really like to put content out there that, maybe makes somebody think like, maybe I could do that, or maybe I can apply this and start feeling a little happier. Or maybe I can do this in my relationship and communicate better, feel better about myself, and just those little teeny things, those little tidbits that could help somebody in their day, or how they perceive a situation, how they perceive themselves. That's the information I want to share for the most part. And just like my life is also kind of fucking crazy, so those stories go a long way too.
No, I think that's awesome that it's more than just a brand to you. It actually means something. Like you literally transform that into something that's a piece of you. And I love that.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah, it sounds like you cover quite a lot.
Yeah.
And you guys go check it out. Do the most.
Do the most podcast.
Shout it out.
Shouts.
Podcast.
Yes.
But T, you take this next one.
Yeah, so we kind of touched on it. But what was your biggest hurdle that you have faced within the media business? And do you feel as if hurdles and challenges are almost a necessity in order to achieve the highest of your potential within the media sphere?
Absolutely. I think that with any goal that we have, say this podcast that you guys are working on, say my podcast, say the marketing company, say the education company, anything that we go after, you have to accept that there's going to be difficult parts that you're going to have to work over and you're going to have to work through. And the best part about it is those difficult parts is what gives you, your badge of honor to move forward on that project, So the most difficult thing that I've faced, I'd say, is putting myself out there and, getting negative feedback and self-doubt that I've faced just through doing the podcast and staying consistent with that. But in terms of growing anything in our life that we want to do, have it be our own personal project or even in a job that we have or a passion project, anything, it's consistency. Yeah. And it's being able to deal with the negative parts, the difficult parts, the situations. Yes. And I was telling you guys, like, I got a ton of hate on Twitter like a month ago or
pushback,
so.
Yeah.
A ton of pushback.
Hey,
yeah.
But
that pushback.
You know what they say?
What do they say?
No.
I do want to know.
They say no.
Minor setback for a major comeback.
Well, they say that.
There you go.
No, but there's no bad press or something like that.
Facts.
You know what I mean? No bad publicity.
Hey, I mean, it does suck, but hey, it gets you out there.
Can I be filled? Did you share on the pod or?
Oh yeah,
of what happened?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
just give me a brief synopsis because I came in late.
Oh,
I don't even know how to
on my pod.
Not on this pod,
so
but her podcast.
I'll share on this
Yeah.
pod.
I don't even know how to work Twitter, so
no, it was
Goat.
This one I wouldn't even say
even
this
know
was
how to do it.
I wouldn't even say this was the most difficult thing that I dealt with, because like you kind of can't hurt my feelings right now. You kind of can't. Like
but it's just something that you're like,
nothing can
You
hurt
gotta think of it as like it's just chirps. Like everyone's gonna chirp you. Like no one's, obviously not everyone's gonna like you.
I just listen to enough successful people, and I know that like getting hate and getting negative comments or dealing with any negative situation in general is part of the process of getting where you want to get. Like anyone who's successful, an athlete, Tom Brady, an artist, Kanye West, even though he's getting a lot of hate right now, like these people have been through the no's, the doubts, the hate, And you have to be able to withhold through that and believe in yourself. It's about believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you believe in yourself, you're not going to stop. But what happened?
I think Kanye West maybe just needs to stop believing in himself
No,
so
okay.
much
Well,
right now.
you know what I
but
think?
Kanye West is unique.
For sense of the conversation, yes, I do know what
He
you're
was just
saying,
the
obviously.
first person that came to mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Beyonce believed in herself. You know,
Yeah. Someone who is super famous but does get shit on for a lot of things.
Exactly.
Well, what I
exactly.
think we kind of touched upon it earlier about how like we have so much for people that are close to you, have so much love,
Yeah.
but also so much hate. It's that balance, that yin and
Yes.
yang. It's like you're gonna get hate on the internet, but it's also gonna balance out with a lot of love for the things you do.
And that's
And so
exactly what happened to
That's
me.
why
so
you got to keep that nose to the grindstone, like you say, just
you
consistency.
just have to keep going. You just
Yeah.
literally have to keep going. And like
That's
it
a
helps you
fact.
learn. If you're getting a ton of hate, you're probably like you can adjust and you can shift. So
Yeah.
early August, I posted a video saying it was the most productive day ever as entrepreneurs in Boston, and it was a sick day. I woke up, I went and got coffee, I stretched, I meditated, I went up to my office, I did some work, I laid by the pool. I had a whole day, and I recorded the whole thing,
Productive
and I
day, yeah.
don't like recording my entire day. So I just, I was on my shit. Was it like define productive? To me, that was productive as fuck, and I had a great day. Essentially, a Twitter account took that video and was like, "Oh, like these are the new entrepreneurs." Basically, what they're saying is like entrepreneurs are going down, and Twitter just went nuts. The tweets were
The
like,
memes, all that
"Daddy's
shit.
money," like this spoiled bitch, all these things. People were coming after Daniel. Like they were finding out like what my parents did. They own $1 million media company, and meanwhile, like the greatest bar like almost foreclosed during COVID. Like crazy stuff. Like all these awful things, and like all of it wasn't true. So like, I guess like the main thing for me was. One, I know the power of a difficult situation or a negative situation. Any situation that comes in life that's difficult, that's hard, and seems negative, the laws of the universe state that with any negative situation, there is the seed of
Equal and opposite reaction, yeah.
positive. So that was tough, but at the same time, I had to make the decision to because Barstool started reaching out to me and all these other accounts started reaching out to me.
Shouts.
Can we post this? Can we share this? And I was like, I had to make the decision, like, do I want to get more hate?
Fuck it.
And I did. So I said yes, and I let hundreds of thousands more people see it and got all this hate, and my brothers were stressed out naturally, and I was just sitting back and
You
like
gotta wear it.
just letting it happen.
Yeah.
And it was such an interesting experience to get just like so much hate on the internet. It was
Do you mind if I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
What do you make of comments that say like daddy's money or like, oh, look at what her parents do? Like what's your reaction to that?
To
and
me,
your
I'm
sort
like-
of counter.
To me, I know that I pay my rent, and I know that I've gotten my apartment, and I know that I'm living the life that I'm living because of the own work that I do. So like I know myself, like my parents don't pay for anything that I do. Yeah, so I know who I am. I know what I do, and I was tested, So life tests us. Life tests us. And it's easy to say I'm confident, and it's easy to say I know myself, and it's easy to say I'm going to keep going. But sometimes life is going to be like, yeah, you are? You want to keep going?
It's gonna punch you.
You really
it's gonna
believe
hit
in
you to the
yourself?
ground.
You sure about that? You want to keep going? You can deal with all these people? And so I saw this great video when all this was happening. And it's this girl who makes videos that I really like. And she was saying that I'm big into manifesting.
Oh, we know.
I'm big into
We
manifesting.
got questions.
So she was saying how she's even bigger into manifesting. This is like one of the spiritual girls I follow. And she posted a video about how saying she was manifesting 1 million followers, and as she was working towards that, she posted this one video. This guy made a ton of fun of her. She got a ton of hate, and she realized that when you're manifesting something, when you're working towards something that's big and it's something that you don't have right now, in order to get there, in order to get this great, awesome opportunity, right? Or this great moment or this great accomplishment, this huge, powerful energy of what that is, naturally, that's a duality that comes with that opposite negative as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to work through those negatives. Like in order to have a real friendship, right?
Yeah.
In order to have a 5-year friendship or a 10-year friendship or, a 12-year marriage,
A lot of forgiveness.
you have those negative parts. You have those difficult parts. And now, about 2 weeks ago, like 2-3 weeks into September, my videos started popping off. 100,000 views, 600,000 views, 500,000 views, close to 20,000 followers on TikTok. My podcast, like I was telling you guys, has tripled in downloads since this time. It's monetizable. I'm getting offered brand deals. And it was just like that. Like 1 month after all this hate came all this good. And I'm just such a strong believer that when the difficult times in life come, if we're really able to stick through it and learn from it, like there's a genuine prize at
It's a
the end of
roller
the day.
coaster ride.
Yeah,
You can
it
have the
really
ups
is.
and
And I
downs.
love it. So now,
And
like,
yeah.
I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, push me, like challenge me.
Strap into the ride and just enjoy
I
it.
always like to say the universe gives you always exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Right,
So
when,
when-
right when you need it.
You may not
That's like
feel
Game of
like you
Thrones.
need the negative, but you do.
You do.
And it'll give you what you
You
need
do.
when you need it.
And it
That's
makes-
how I feel.
It makes everything else so much sweeter
Yeah.
too. Like, do you know how good my life felt so nice and normal? Like when I was able to like go on my social media platforms and not read like awful things to myself. You know, like
Yeah.
it was nice to wake up one day and be like, oh, like things are just kind of normal again. You know, and like the reason why it's the impermanence of life that is so beautiful. Like peace isn't permanent. Family isn't permanent.
Facts.
Like there's not this moment right here. Like this is all we really have, and it's been a beautiful.
Journey.
It's been a beautiful life, just really enjoying every part of it, even if it's difficult to in the moment. Just able to learn from it eventually and grow from it eventually and look back.
Hell
Which
yeah.
honestly, like weed can be great for. Like when I was going through all this, like I
Shouts.
would literally sit on my balcony and like just take a couple puffs of like a little pre-roll and like it helped me process. I'm like, oh, okay, universe, like I see what you doing here.
Just,
Yeah.
Life
check
is a
yourself,
lot of
detach.
reflection. I've done a lot of reflection.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can relate to this, but like sometimes you come to a moment of clarity and it's literally like the weight is lifted off your chest. You feel different.
Oh my gosh,
but it comes
absolutely.
with so much like darkness and sadness and
Uh-huh.
despair. And it's like, but you can't ignore that. You can't like just be like, oh, just push it off to the side. Because if
Mhm.
you don't address it, it's just going to continue to eat away. So it's
You
like
have
you
to
getting
face
this hate, that probably sucks. Like, you know, you say you don't really care and it's a faceless person and whatever, fuck
Mhm.
the haters. But it's like somebody's on here like telling you to kill yourself.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, and
damn,
people have too.
Jesus Christ.
Like literally out of nowhere.
Like it
right,
is.
right. And you're
Like
like,
it is.
Not that serious.
Yeah.
It really
Right,
ain't
it's
that
really
deep.
not that deep.
It ain't that deep.
people on the internet are crazy, but it's
Mhm.
like you reflect on that. Okay, how does that make me feel? Okay, do I want to move forward and connect with Barstool? Do I want them to use my video
Mhm.
because you know what's about to come?
Mhm.
And you reflect on it. And then when you get to that moment, it's like you really do feel like, I know that this is the right
Yeah.
thing for me.
I was just ready for the challenge, and when
Yeah.
it comes to people
You were
commenting,
like, let's go.
I was at that point too, because my boyfriend's great, and he wasn't letting me be a pussy about it for a second. He's like, listen, like you know what's happening
Love
right
it.
now. He's like, you know what's happening
Just
right now.
gotta eat it.
We were getting a couple sales on the university when this was all happening too. He's like, you know what's happening. He's like, dig in, like you know what's happening. Like he's like, you want this. I was like,
Facts.
I do want this, and
Smart man.
all of that was happening.
That's what you signed up for, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like you said, you knew what was coming. You
The
knew.
importance of a good support system.
Oh
Facts.
yes,
He could have
absolutely.
said things that were encouraging, but maybe not what you needed.
Mhm.
And like he kind of gave you like the tough love, which you seem like the type of person who really responds to
love.
that.
Yes,
That's what you needed.
because I was
You
getting
didn't need someone like, oh Shannon, oh you're so good, you're so perfect at
Yes.
everything. It's gonna be okay. We love that, and we love to hear that
Exactly.
sometimes. But was that what you needed right then?
exactly.
No. He was like, come on, girl, get your shit together. Let's go.
And that's really what pushed
Shouts.
me to post, to let Barstool post it. It was him being like, come on, like you got this, like this is what you want. This is literally what you want. But a point I have that I think is important is when it comes to any information that we get in our life, from comments on TikTok and hate and or comments from friends, family, or looking in the mirror and like what we think about ourselves. If I read a comment about like, oh, like you're a spoiled brat, like you don't deserve anything, and I let that affect me, that means on some level I believe that's true.
Yeah,
You know?
I remember watching
Facts.
an interview with DMX, R.I.P. rapper. He said that
R.I.P.
he doesn't want to hear. He said that he doesn't want to hear anything good or bad, because if he listens to the good, then and he believes it, then he's gonna listen to the bad and he's gonna believe it. So he just wants to stay neutral,
I like that.
stay middle of the road. I want to hear nothing. I just want to stay middle of the road.
I like that.
So, yeah.
I truly
Shouts.
I love hyping myself up, but I also love critiquing myself because I know I can always be better.
You
And
gotta
like,
be your biggest
once
critic.
I got this hate, like I never posted a video like that again. You know, like I just completely changed what I was doing.
Learn shit.
I
Yeah.
pivoted, I changed, and that content's resonating a lot better.
Hell
You know,
yeah.
I have people emailing me all the time wanting to come on my podcast. I have brands
Fuck
wanting
yeah.
to send me stuff. Like I'm getting the
Oh
views I
hell
want.
yeah!
I'm still nowhere
hell yeah.
near where I want to be, but like, okay,
Just getting
I
started.
went over this little hurdle. Yeah, there's gonna be way bigger
Yeah.
problems
Just getting
to come.
started.
The stuff I want to talk about too, like we're just getting started. Like the internet's not gonna completely.
There's
love me.
so much that even we want to talk about on this
Yeah.
pod that we want to get to. Yeah, you know. So
Give me something controversial.
Like a topic or a question?
Like something you want to know. Something juicy.
Well, I had a question. So, so you were talking about your, doing the most university. So as we've seen on it, you kind of add another side to yourself, as Shannon, the business school professor, where you just teach others about your own experiences and, being in the field of like social media, because it's really different. And so we just want to know, like, what's a unique lesson or like exercise that, you give to your students that kind of just like give them a grasp of what they're getting into.
So what Doing the Most University has is it's multiple different courses, and all the courses relate to different areas of your life. And we really focus on 5 main pillars, and that's financial freedom, creative endeavors,
Write these down.
creative passions, relationships.
It's an inside scoop for their listeners right now.
Inside scoop.
It's just the pillars. We believe that the main 5 pillars are the financial freedom, creative endeavors and passions, relationship, physical health, and then mental health or spirituality or whatever that means to you. And
in that order?
No, absolutely not.
No.
It all differs, and they all combine and change with each other. Everyone's going to be different, because if you are dead broke, right, and you have nowhere to live and you can't feed yourself, your creative passions don't really matter at that point.
You gotta start somewhere first.
You know?
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere else.
Exactly. However, if you have your mental health and you have your head right and you believe that you can figure it out and you can believe that you can...
It's a big foundation right there.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm a big believer that it's that mental, that's a huge part, but financial is definitely up there, and physical, of course, because it's hard for you to pursue financial...
Yeah, if you're just physically not there,
if you're in a hospital bed, right?
Right.
So the course is focused on all these different things. So Daniel has a course specifically on 6-figure freelancing, because Daniel taught me everything I know in terms of making money online. So his course breaks down exactly what to do, how to pick your skill based on what you like and what you're kind of good at, how to scale it, how to find clients, how to write the emails, how to build it out, all of that. We also have courses on things like UGC, which is making money, making videos for other brands. So they send you products and you can make little content videos for them. Yeah. My course that I'm working on right now, for me, what changed my life was changing my habits and my environment. So I stopped hanging out with the people who are super negative. I stopped hanging out with the people who are always gossiping. I stopped over drinking. I started waking up earlier. I started filling my brain with better content, listening to better podcasts, reading better
You are
books.
what you consume, as I've seen you say.
So true. Like, I used to read Jodi Picoult, who's a phenomenal writer, and like,
shouts.
I do like tapping into like scary movies, and I'm not like you have to be completely 100% like self-help content. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But I just started filling my mind with some bigger ideas, and I started listening to Bob Proctor, and I started meditating, and I started sitting with myself. So my course really walks through a bunch of different habits that you can instill into your own life to hopefully start feeling better, acting better, living better, being able to show up for yourself, because that's something, again, we're not taught. It's not
you're not born with it, and you're not taught it. And I think that's cool that you try to teach that, because like people may think like, oh, like I can do that myself. It's like, you really can. Like, trust me, I've been through that myself, where it's like, what can I do to fix this about me? What can I do to do this? And it's like, sometimes like, you go to therapy for, and therapy can only help so much. But like, there's really times, like you said, you kind of like have to sit with yourself. Really, like, you kind of need a little bit of push from somewhere else to kind of, I don't know, think a little more deeply, think a little more critically than you normally would, because you just don't have that. Like, I think a rare trait a lot of people have is that self-awareness, and I think you need to have self-awareness, and it's hard to have that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so hard.
Yeah, and I'm not perfect.
No, we're all a work in progress.
I just got obsessed with self-help, and I really watched myself change dramatically, and I watched my life change and result of me changing. Yeah. And I just like to share the things that have helped me. I think that
I love that.
A huge aspect of the human experience is to fast track. If I was able to go from an anxious mess to happy and traveling and in love in 2 years, maybe I can help someone do it in 6 months, right?
I love that. It's like kind of like artists, where they're just like, if my songs can just like make someone's day a little bit better, then it's all worth it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So T-Bag, you take the next one. I think it's a good segue.
Well, I just have something that kind of going off that I thought of it while you were saying it. It seems like you're pumping out a lot of really good content, and like you're really trying to help people, which is great. I like the approach that you have.
Very well articulated, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. And that's important for a businesswoman as well. Especially as a woman. You really need to know what you're saying.
Yes.
But how accessible do you think like your guys' programming is for people who maybe are like underserved populations, underprivileged populations, and people with different backgrounds than you, do you feel like it's accessible to a wide range of
Absolutely.
people?
Million percent. So what we're doing, you know, we have these courses that we obviously do charge for, but everything that's we're sharing on the courses is for free on the podcast, on the YouTube, and the content. So the things that have changed my life for the most part were like Bob Proctor YouTube videos, free meditations on YouTube's, you know, like $12 books
yourself,
off of, you know, certain books off Amazon are like $10, $9, free books from libraries. It's just expanding your mind and understanding that we have the power to shape our thoughts. That's what's really, really helped me. And it can be as simple as
battery.
Are we dead?
Sad.
Are we out?
No, we know you have another battery, right? Yeah, we're good. Just throw it on a charger.
Is our thing still recording right now?
This is still recording. Yeah.
Cool. I'll finish my point just on this.
Up.
I do believe that I'm privileged in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I do believe that I've grown up with supportive parents, and I've grown up with a family who was able to put a roof over my head and put food on the table and take care of me in certain ways that have allowed me to accelerate a lot faster than someone, you know, if someone's focusing on like, again, paying rent and taking and like buying themselves clothes at 15, 16, 17, it's hard for them to focus like on their spirituality and their mental health and, you know, their really big dreams and goals.
Right.
But I believe that anybody can make it. I believe that anyone can make it happen for themselves. It's just believing it can happen and start taking their correct steps towards that. Even if that's a small step, right? Like if you are in a really bad environment and there's a group of people who are trying to get you to make a really bad decision, right? Who knows what that is? That could be XYZ. It's you reminding yourself of where you want to be, who you want to be, and aligning your actions with those goals.
Step one is, you know, starting, right?
Yes.
So if you can
somewhere.
start, you can do number 2 and number 3 and number 4.
Yeah.
But starting is the hardest part, I think.
Oh,
especially with like mental health journey, like from my own experience, just doing it, just actually being like, okay, I'm going to take this seriously now and actually following through is so fucking hard.
it is hard, but like it's a lot easier when you find people that you really resonate with and you find like
a sense of community is big.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I'm really grateful for my friends, because we've all really embarked on kind of a personal development journey together. So it's really a safe place to talk through difficult things, because
It's good to have a support system.
the reasons why we're anxious or we're upset or, you know, depressed, whatever that might be, it's because we have a lot of negative thoughts about ourselves within us, a lot of negative perceptions about who we are and what we can do. And that's the power of action. That's the power of starting to work towards your goals, or, you know, starting to go to the gym and watching your body transform. Like, I'm sure you can talk on that, you know, like how much has
Randy evolved.
Yeah, we haven't got
full
into that
evolution
in the pod a little bit. There's definitely things we want to talk about.
Full
Definitely want to bring up. Yeah, I mean, it's so different, you know. You kind of
by
feel
the
like a
way,
different
like
person.
I hope this doesn't make you uncomfortable. I will tell people like, you like this kid, oh my god, I am so
You're
impressed.
You're too kind.
I'm so
I appreciate
impressed by
that.
the
It's
fitness
so
journey.
impressive.
But
Thank
you're
you, thank
a
you.
healthy person. You don't have unhealthy habits, which I think is great. I don't know if that's something that came later on or if that's something you focus on from the jump, but you live a healthy lifestyle, I think, like holistically.
Yeah, I mean, I think like
Because you can look good, but that doesn't mean you're healthy.
yeah, that's facts.
True.
That's facts. You know,
That's true.
I think like I did like have poor habits before. You know what I mean? And you just gotta correct that. Like you said, like drink. Sometimes, you know, you live the college life, you drink too much, you stray away from your path. You kind of realize it's like really like not worth it at the end of the day to like just kind of like damage yourself so much where it hinders yourself so much. And like, yeah, it's like, I don't know, I just realized like I got goals for myself. I got shit I gotta do. And like,
Yeah.
if drinking partying every weekend is like hindering me from that, then like I really don't need it that much. And like
Right.
some people feel like they need it. Some people like that, and that's your lifestyle. I would never, you know, talk you down from that. If that's how you want to live your life. You know what I mean? I'm not here to preach. I just like, I got goals. I got shit I got to do. You know, I was really unhealthy once as a kid, you know, like just not in a great spot. And, you know, I had to turn it around. I had to, hey, welcome back. But yeah, I had to turn it around and realize that there's definitely better out there, and like,
And I think a lot of people don't realize how hand in hand physical health and mental health go.
yeah, facts.
And
When you look good, you feel good, and that's a fact. And
exactly.
like, people don't understand
But
that it's a
looking good
commitment.
is not the bottom line.
No, it's just a thing.
The thing about body image,
Just a thing. It's just something you need.
it's just a thing. The thing about body image, this is like we're getting derailed again, but
No, it's all good. This is a good topic.
part of my mental health journey was definitely like the body image aspect. And I
Body
was
dysmorphia is a legit
body
thing.
dysmorphia is crazy.
I still have it.
And I feel
You know
for
what I
people
mean?
who like
Me
suffer
too.
from it like badly. But what I realized was, okay, so I got myself in the gym. You better believe. And I totally like I was
And that's
looking,
a commitment. You got to do it like you got to do it like 4 or
Right.
5 days a week for your entire life.
Right.
Like you need it. Like
Right.
I've been working out for like 10 years now, and people
exactly.
people think like they ask me like, oh, like how can I be like you? How can I do this? And it's like, dude, I'm no different from any fucking person. Like you are not different from me. Nobody's that. Everyone is literally the exact same. The only difference is like I just like take my time in my day to do it. And
You
like,
just
You gotta find what works for you.
you gotta find what's even if it's dancing, anything that's physical,
Right.
like that just keeps you moving. Like you just need whatever it is. It could be dance, could be fishing, could be anything. Something that gets you out there, something that gets you moving. That's all you need, but you need to do it consistently.
Yeah.
And
But
for
to my
years.
point,
And people just don't got years like
Right.
that. You know what I mean?
But to my point, I was at a point where
Or
I was
don't want
looking at
ears like that.
right. I was looking at myself in the mirror like, I finally have the body I've always wanted. And that felt so great. And then I struggled to stay consistent in the gym for a while because I had other like mental health issues going on. And then I started to kind of feel like my
Life gets in
body
the
was
way.
lacking. And I was like, what is this? I thought I was over the insecurities of my body. And what I really came to the conclusion was it's not about how you look, it's how you feel.
Yeah.
And it's about
Facts,
accepting
facts.
your body at every phase because you're going to change, especially as a woman. Like we
It's a
change
roller
every
coaster
month.
ride,
Oh my
yeah.
The way I
goodness.
look bloated when I'm about to get my period and
It's
stuff,
entirely
it's
different.
crazy. So it's like, you cannot just,
Shouts, girls. Shouts.
we should talk about that. I should really break that down for you guys.
No, that's
I've
I'd say
actually
that
been
for
getting
another
into
pod,
that
but-
recently. I'll come on
No,
yours.
that so we've been talking about like we got range on this pod.
Another thing we don't
wanna,
get taught
we want to
right
project
there.
that for sure.
Yeah.
However, I want to talk about something now that the camera's back. There are
Let's go.
absolute privileges that I've experienced in my life growing up with both parents who were able to put food on the table, a roof over my head that allowed me to succeed at a quicker rate than other people. And I don't want to take away any other people's struggles in terms of success, but I do believe strongly that anyone can achieve and become and do everything that I've done and so much more as long as they believe they can.
Yes.
And just do
definitely.
it.
However,
Definitely.
I have
Do it
been helped
as
and I
much
grew up
as
in
you
America,
can.
which is a phenomenal country, and there's been no doubt privileges that I've experienced that have
Yeah.
made it easier for me. It's like, have you guys seen that video? It's like where the kids race to the $100 bill.
No,
You haven't seen that video?
no.
I've seen it so many times. It's really good. Basically, it was an experiment. It had all these different kids from all these different towns, and some were black, some were white, some were Hispanic. And he said, for every question you can answer yes, take a step forward. And it was like, take a step forward if you grew up with both parents. Take a step forward if you played sports growing up. Take a step forward if, you were able to take part in extracurriculars. Take a step forward if, you have an extended family. All these things that, the privileged person gets to experience. It's like, all right, now race to this $100. And obviously, a lot of like white looking privileged kids were up at the
Probably
front.
in the front, yeah.
And they were able to, they had a huge advantage to the $100,
But you know who
Advantage.
had the most hustle in that video was the kids in the back.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
It's true.
that just goes to show, like,
Because they
if you have
realize
it
where
in you,
they're
like,
at.
I
Yeah.
want that $100,
Yeah.
then you can really go far with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no exact route to success.
Yeah, it's
No
sad.
direct
It
route.
sucks because obviously, life. The first thing you realize about life is life ain't fair. Life is
Oh,
not
no.
a fucking level playing field,
No.
and like you said, life will hit hard. Like nothing will hit harder than life,
Uh-huh.
and it sucks that it is that way. But like we talk about, like our hurdles like a necessity. It kind of are.
Oh, yeah. And it
they,
doesn't.
They kind of are.
That's why it doesn't suck that it is that way, because you just realize that even if you have, the rich kid with the perfect life and the perfect looks and the perfect parents, like that kid's going through his own
They got
different
demons.
struggles.
They got everyone's got demons.
Me and my boyfriend talk about all the time how like we literally feel bad for people who are like born into billionaire families because like what you kind of
I don't, but okay.
It depends. It
Well,
depends. It depends.
in a certain aspect, like you get to create your life and you get to, there's so many things I haven't experienced because I don't have billionaire parents, right? So like
with rich parents, also I do think there's a certain amount of pressure that maybe
Yeah.
like middle class kids don't really feel, or like lower class, like they don't really. Billionaires have a certain image that well, look at this like college admission scandal. It's just because like those parents are rich and famous and they want their kids to look good on paper. So,
well, imagine this: like you grow up in a billionaire household, right? And you're just given absolutely everything. Like, what would really hit good if you're just constantly given everything? Like the beauty of.
Do you even know what you like? Do you even know what you're into?
Yeah, like that'd be difficult. And I think again, that's where we see drug issues, alcohol issues. Look at the rich and famous; like they're not the happiest people.
Facts.
In the world, not at all. But I want to bring it back to body image here because your story is super interesting. And a question I have for you, me being a podcast host here, question I have for you
this is
like,
your pod.
Where did and what did you see were the main elements of your mental health change from, you know, did you feel like there was a mental change as your body physically changed?
I mean, yeah, you definitely gain confidence. And I think confidence is like something
it's key.
A lot of people lack. And like when you feel good about yourself and other people, you know, cheering you on, like it's automatic confidence, you know what I mean? People definitely treat you differently. You know, I was treated very differently when I was, you know, overweight. And you know, things.
A young Josh Peck.
Literally young Josh Peck, like almost identical. And
he's successful now too.
Yeah,
hey,
they're both shredded. Both shredded now.
Shouts. Yeah, so I mean, it's just, yeah, you just feel better about yourself. And like, realistically, like I didn't get more into like the mental side of things until like recently, because it's like that was like a thing that like was kind of more taboo back in the day, I guess. Like not really talked about. And it wasn't more till like now to like it's hard for men.
Hard for men.
And it wasn't until like recently until I really like had to like do the self-reflections, have the self-awareness, and like reprogram my mind and just think differently about things.
Shout out Marvel.
Shout out.
Well, yes, to that point,
Queenie, appreciate you.
Back to what I was saying before, like I lost all this weight and I looked good and I had a big butt and a flat stomach and whatever, but then it was almost like a false because it was almost like a false sense of confidence, because I'm like, but I'm still hurting and I didn't know why.
Not as happy as
and then I start peeling
be.
back the layers and I'm like, it's really not about how my body looks, it's how I feel about my body.
Facts.
And then I started taking more of an approach like, this is my one body that I will have for the rest of my life. So if I don't treat it with respect and love, it's going to reject me.
So, facts. Shout out.
Period.
Mic drop. See ya.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on the show.
It's been phenomenal talking with you.
Hey, Dean, appreciate you.
Congratulations, Shannon, on everything. And, you know,
it's been awesome talking with you.
Hell yeah.
Hey, don't mess up our set.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're
don't touch that.
You're good. You're good right there. You're good.
I know you already lost one.
It's been fabulous talking with you.
I'm just gonna...
Yeah, take your time. No rush.
So good to see you.
I'm sure I'll see you again.
And I'll be here. I mean, afterwards.
Cool.
Queenie,
Perfect.
shout out. Thanks for coming on.
Perfect.
No, thank you.